Okay, so let's take you through building the head first. So what we need to do is have a look at some reference of a head. So if we have a look at the head as a model, here we go, we can see that the where the eyes are here is halfway between where the lips go, and then we have half again onto where the chin goes. So you can see this on this ball here. So if we start with a sphere, like we've got a sphere here, and end up with something like this. So this is the sort of generic shape we're trying to work towards, and here you can see how we're going to try and affect it into a cube shape at the end, into the box. So let's go through this. So let's start with the head. So the head is here. We'll start with a cube. Draw the cube out. With the channel box open, go into the inputs and change the size to 2x2x2. Make sure it's at world 0. Next, go to the polygons submenu and edit the mesh with a smooth, ensuring that the division level is set to 1, and click smooth. We now have a ball. Here we have the ball, and it is shaped symmetrically. So we'll go into the front view and we will right mouse click and select the components vertexes, and we'll move those vertexes down by half again. So this has created the depth of the face that we need. Then we'll select the object. I'll turn off the grid for this just for a second, and we'll go into edit mesh and insert the edge loop, and we want the edge loop to be halfway in between these two here. To ensure that, we will select the select tool, split polygon ring and select 0.5. I tend to like to straighten this up at this point, so I will select those vertexes, use the scale tool and just bring them into alignment like so. Next we need to expand the back of the head, so if we go back to our reference, which is here, as you can see, so we need to expand the back of the head out, and it's going to be this section here, so we're going to extrude the back of the head out of for our cube. So let's go back in, so we will select in the side view 2 faces at the back, which is actually 4 faces, you see. Hit the extrude button, and then in the side view just select to move by plane and move the plane out, and then we will go in and just add a little bit of shaping to the actual mesh. Move this one up, and we're going to move this up as well, and just flatten the back of the head in, and there we go. So we've now got a skull type shape, and we can just bring out these vertexes here. So to do this, we're going to turn on mirroring, double click on the move tool, and down at the bottom we're going to select reflection, and the reflection will be across the X object. We pull this out, and we've now got a head shape and the back of the jaw. In fact, the jaw can come out quite a long way. Here's the jaw after all. Okay, we're going to bring in just an inset now, so we're going to set these back and we're going to bring the neck in, so we're going to just change the offset and the thickness, and then we're going to bring these 2 edges forward and down, and this will be where the neck begins. So as you can see, we have the neck, the beginning of the neck, where the neck will go. and there we have the inside of the neck. There. Perfect. So that can be now extruded out whenever we get the chance. So onto the character. So let's go back to our character design in the document, and down, let's go back to the anatomy. We go to anatomy 1, and here we can see a skeleton, so we can begin to work out where the skeleton is going to go. And copy that image. Just bring that image into Sketchbook Designer. And we're just going to paste that image in. There it is. So let's just break this down. We're happy with that, so we'll go into pencil mode, go onto the layer, create a new layer, and we're just going to sketch this out. So here we have the head. There it is. And that is 1 head height. Just use the eraser just to take off those edges. 1 head height. There we go. So how many times would we have this head? So we have 1, and then let's just measure this down. So let's copy this layer, and we'll move this layer. Just go to the move tool, okay, let's just work this by eye, much easier. There's number 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 heads. So that's how many heads we need to build. So that's the purpose of this. Let's go back here, and let's move this head around. So here we are. We know how big this head is now, and we can move. Just going to hold down D and V and snap that point to the bottom of the head, and then use X and snap it to the beginning of the grid. So we can go in and say duplicate, Control D, hold down V, move to the top. Before you deselect anything, press Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 heads. We now have a visual reference of our character. Okay, so let's go into a character mode. So let's go and have a look at a scene that's already been put together. Okay, so here we have the torso. Just let the images move in. There we go. So this torso is has been modelled with a little bit of reference in the scene. We did use a front view to more accurately assess where the shoulders and the torso should go, which does work quite well. As you can see, I think the lower section needed some modelling work on it, and we used the side section as well, just to sort of bring in where these sort of sections needed to be, the size of the abdominals for the stomach, and where the laterals would go in. But you can see that we've modified a cube quite accurately, and that cube has then been attached to that head that we developed earlier. So we've got a nice attachment there on that head.